Speaking of Twitter, what did you think of NASCAR and Fox's camera work?
Oh, that
did I get it right?
That one. Yeah.
Nah, that one didn't get me.
Shoot.
Man, I couldn't keep it bottled up anymore. And since right now I'm not working for any specific network, I felt like that allowed me to be a little more sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not picking on Fox. I'm not saying they do things differently than NBC did things. I am always of the opinion that getting more cars on the screen is a good thing.
Right.
Especially when all of those cars are doing some things, racing, battling, right? The more cars you can put on the screen, the more I, as a broadcaster, can talk about.
Right.
Look at that, right? And if they're not on the screen, I can't say, hell of a battle right there when you can't even see it at home, right? So there's a couple things. I've talked to Letard about this. He believes that it's – now, fans will say, look, it's a week-to-week issue, and I get that. But Atlanta, it's a very unique situation because we now have a 1.5-mile racetrack that races like a Daytona Talladega where they're packed up, but we have 1.5-mile camera locations.
Right.
And we're shooting it like 1.5 miles.
Right.
Right?
That's actually I did not think of that.
Yeah. And so I think that now that we know what Atlanta is, we need to rethink about camera locations and how we want to shoot that race, right? So that we can get a little bit wider. We need to back up a little bit. Some of those cameras can't get wider. They're so close to the action,
right?
They can't back they can't back the shot up. And so you'll see it, man. They'll be on these cars and the cars will come down the front straightaway. And as the cars are coming toward the camera, when they get closest to the camera, they fill the whole screen up, and then they go back away. You can tell that the guy running the camera, he can't zoom out any further. So I mean, there's something to rethink there about Atlanta, but I'm always of the opinion, like, put as much on the screen as you can. I don't want to be in helicopter all race. I don't want to be, looking from the blimp the entire day, but especially on restarts, we got the whole field jumped up. We're going to have all kinds of chain reaction things happening. Something that happens up front is going to affect the guy in 20th. I want to see it on the screen so I can talk about it.
Right.
Show me every car you can possibly show me on a restart for at least a lap and a half before I feel good enough that they've sorted it out. And then we can start to focus more on a specific group of cars. And so we've always talked about that. I when I first got the job at NBC, that was one of the first things that Burton, Letart, and Rick told me. Hey, you're gonna hear us say we need to get wider. We need to get wider. We need to get wider when we're talking to our team in the TV compound. This is what we're talking about. This is why you need to join us in that conversation, right? And I'm like, yeah, I hear you. I got it. So there were some moments during the race where we'll come off of turn 2 and we got a shot that has the top 12 in it. And as they're coming toward us, the shot morphs into basically just 3 cars toward the front of the pack. And I'm like, damn it, I really wanted to continue to watch that battle for 8th, 9th, and 10th. But also, I would love to still see the front lead car, right? And that's what I'm looking for. Is like, give me that pack coming down the front straightaway into 3 through turn 4 the whole time, right? So I can see, because then, they're coming down the back straightaway, right? Coming off of 2. 12 cars on the screen. Battles for position throughout the top 12. They're coming toward us. When they got in front of us in turn 3, it was 3 cars on the screen, the first 3 in the pack. We followed them through 3 and 4, and then we cut to the 10th place car wrecking. He's already wrecked. And I'm like, damn it, I knew. I didn't. But in my mind, I'm like, I knew that shit was going to happen. Damn it, now, how did it happen? If it had been on the screen with everybody else, I would have seen it. play out live.
Yeah.
And so, whether they're truly capable at all times of giving me as a fan and a viewer that, I'm not entirely sure. My and moaning is probably for nothing a lot of the times. But I know that sometimes, they can get a little wider, right? And I'm just asking for it. But I've never felt comfortable saying that publicly until now.
You mentioned, like, when you first stepped in the booth, they're like, you got to watch the monitor here, and, like, we're hoping to get the camera to be wider. I think it was Harvick who I think even admitted himself, oh, sorry, I was watching the racetrack. I wasn't actually watching the monitor on the broadcast. And he reacted to something that TV actually didn't capture.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, I'll say you're I like to look, I will always, if I continue to broadcast in NASCAR, I want to be at the racetrack. If they ever, I'm never going to work a job where they're like, man, we're going to have you here in Charlotte and call the race from this remote location. I need to see the track. I need to see the energy. I need to feel the fans. All that really makes me better. I'm a fan. I want to be at the race watching it. And I want to look out that window and see the race because, I'm watching program. I'm watching what you're seeing at home. But I need to look and say, hey, man, is the seventh place car catching the sixth place car? Is that where we need to take the cameras? And then I can get in talk to the producer and say, I think there's a great battle happening or about to happen. So let's try to get there in the next lap or two because it's developing. We want to put every battle on the screen. There's races. We're not going to have that problem in Atlanta, but we'll go to Vegas this weekend, right? And maybe there's a long green flag run. They get very spread out. Dude, you're looking for battles. Mm-hmm. You're trying to tell the camera guys what battles are about to happen so they can put that battle on the screen because we need to show cars racing side by side, passing, right? And if there's a pass for position in the top 10 and the TV viewer at home didn't get to see it, that's bull crap, right? We don't want that to happen, right? And so, that's something you're doing in the booth all the time is actually trying to look out. And to Harvick's credit, I mean, you see something happening and it, you react to it a lot of times, not knowing what's on the screen, but sometimes that's okay. When I was a kid growing up, they always told me, don't react to anything that's not on the screen. The viewer can't see it at home. That's wrong. Don't do that. I don't believe in that. I think that's BS. I'm going to react if I see something happening that's not on the screen. I don't think that's a rule that I'm going to abide by.